So, one other thing to consider when you're recording audio, aside from the type of microphone you're using, is your location, where you're recording your audio. So, right now, I'm just using the onboard camera on my camera phone. So, we're not using the best microphone in the world, but of course, they do sound better the closer you get to your subject. So, we could be getting relatively good audio right now, except I'm recording in about the worst possible place in my house. Right now, I'm in my kitchen. So, we've got a hard tile floor. We've got a window over here that faces out towards traffic, and we've got the refrigerator here, which is humming all the time. There's also a water fountain on the floor for my pets. So there's lots of little sound contaminants in this room that make it a really terrible place to record. Now, sometimes you need to record a scene in a kitchen, and you can compensate for some of these things, but you have to modify the room a little bit. We'll get back to that in a second. So now we're in my living room, and this is a much better environment to record sound in. It's not the most ideal, but behind me here we've got shelves on the walls, so sound is going to bounce differently off of those shelves than it would just a plain wall. It's not going to reflect directly back at our source and create as much echo as if they were empty plain walls. I've also got carpet on the floor here, so that's going to mute the sound a little bit as well. Of course, the refrigerator's still in the very next room. This is not the greatest circumstance, but it's a bit of a step up. Now we're back in my office, which I've been dressing out as a set. So this is a much better environment for recording audio in. I've got carpet on the floor, of course, and the walls, as you can see, are very irregular in their shape, so they're not going to be bouncing sound directly back at the source like flat walls would. So there's all kinds of different angles for the audio to bounce around. This is still not the most soundproof environment, but it would give a more rich audio profile, a better sound overall than just a plain room or my living room with the shelves on it. And here we are, of all places, in my closet. This is actually one of the best places in the average house to get really clean audio because the clothing hanging around just absorbs all of the extra audio waves, sound waves, and really prevents any sort of echo and gives you really clean sound. So back in the kitchen here now, if I needed to shoot a scene in a kitchen like this, there are things that could be done to contain the sound or control the sound a little bit better. Now, the first thing we would do is unplug the refrigerator here. Now you got to remember to plug it back in later. You can cause all kinds of other problems, and I've done that. But unplugging the fridge cuts down a lot of noise pollution right away. So would unplugging my fountain right here. Now, the windows that face out towards traffic, if you've got curtains, of course, they're going to help. These are kind of heavy felt curtains, so they help block out a little bit more audio. You can put rugs on tile floors to help prevent echoes coming up off of the floor. And then another real common solution is to just hang blankets around to help block some of those extra sound waves. Now, there's nothing you can do to totally block out any extra sound pollution from your neighborhood or completely deaden the sound in a room without really going to a lot of expense and putting up lots of sound treatment stuff. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen sound treatment foam, but this is some right here, and it forms these little peaks, these triangular shapes to help cut down on sound transmission, because with audio, basically the sound, when you deaden audio, you're not just blocking it. Blocking sound doesn't necessarily work very well. You can't block what's coming into the room very effectively without layers and layers and layers of foam like this. And if you're trying to deaden the sound within a room, if you just cover walls and sources, then you can actually create echo accidentally. So you actually need layers of stuff that sound passes through. That's why foam is so common. The sound waves pass through the foam, hit the wall, bounce back and pass through the foam again. So each time it goes through the foam, it's getting deadened a little bit more. So if you have something like this or a blanket hanging in front of a window, your sound waves are going to be deadened coming through both ways. So you can do a lot to treat a room for better sound. You can't control it entirely, but there are things you can do. And then of course there's the closet that is the super handy impromptu recording closet that everybody has at home. All right, have a good day.